Touchy Uncle?
Oh, no.
Oh, look. We're live.
And we're back.
Everyone to the next episode of The Foally of Man.
That's not even NPR. That's just like rapey pirate radio.
You know, I was going to do Midnight Radio.
Oh,
Coming to you real deep from the
Here's
night classics.
Here's a selection of jazz hits from Ralph Macchio's 1984 Overture. Wait, Ralph Macchio? God Almighty! All right,
and Minute Work era Emilio Estevez. Welcome again, everyone, to the next episode of The Foally of Man. My name is Chris. With me here today,
Robert.
And today we're going to be looking at the very last of Pink Eyes.
The Japanese would say that this is an auspicious day.
An auspicious day.
It is an auspicious. Well, an evening, an auspicious.
A red letter evening.
Very true.
Mm-hmm.
Very true. So, for those of you who may be joining us for the very first time, Chris is a Brony and I am not. And we, though he a Brony and I not, review Fallout Equestria fan fictions, which is the blending of Fallout and My Little Pony. And they have like these beautiful little pony babies. And that's basically it.
Yep.
So we covered the original book, Fallout Equestria by K-Cat. And then for this series, this season, we've been covering Pink Eyes by Mimezinga.
Pink Eyes.
And today's episode is the finale.
Brought to you by the letter F, as in what you should type into chat.
F to pay respects.
Press F to pay respects.
So, I actually came up with a really good tagline. I sent it to you, and then I didn't tell you to put it in the description of the show. We'll just let it be.
Let it be.
I don't remember what the quote was.
Let it be.
Again.
Let it be.
Doesn't matter. Moving on. So, story's over.
Yeah.
It's over.
So, where we left off on our story, on our adventure. Spoilers, by the way.
Yeah, I would hope you would understand that we're going over the final
end.
chapter. Yeah, so if you don't want any spoilers, stop watching us.
No, we're actually reviewing the post-ending credit sequence.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So where we last left was Puppy was being subverted by the evil Creepy Voice.
Creepy Voice, yes, of course. Basically, the evil zebra magic possession
that sought to control the world and do as zebra magic does.
Yes. Destroy.
Yes, as zebras do. Racism.
Yeah, it is. Well, better wiped than striped, as they say.
As they say.
And, Puppy Smiles succumbs to
because she has nothing to live for, because this is the end of her journey. She realizes that her mother is gone, and so she has no reason left. And so the Creepy Voice is like, okay, you go sit in the corner. It's time for the big girl to come out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the big guns.
Mm-hmm.
And big guns do indeed come out.
Yeah.
Puppy Smiles' eyes go from pink to vibrant blue.
With a flaming crown.
Yeah, a flaming crown. And introduces herself as all those who will kneel now before the great empire of Creepy Voice. And they're all like, that's your villainous name? Creepy Voice, clearly still influenced by the mind of the child that it possesses.
Yeah.
Which is just hilarious.
Because it is an impulse. It's not a sentient thing.
Right. Yeah, it is what has always been and will always be, creeping in at the corners of the light.
The thing that stares at you from the cracks in the walls.
Mm-hmm. And
comes from where only dreams may go.
Drives you to madness.
Mm-hmm.
So, if we remember Creepy Voice beforehand, Creepy Voice has some messed up powers.
Yep.
Pretty powerful individual.
Yep. Tapping into the darkness. Tapping into the...
Oh, I love that band.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. But moving on. As you were.
As you do. An interesting thing that what happens, though, is that Scold immediately knows what's going on.
Yeah. He's like, oh, snap.
Because he did some research on this zebra thing, and he did the zebra Z-snap.
It's a zebra talisman. But Creepy Voice is like, you look like you're in charge. Here, I'll tell you what to do. And he's like, no, I'll tell you what to do, because I have a spell. And I'm going to destroy your connection by releasing her from this world.
Yeah, what they're doing is they're severing the bind. The bind
Creepy voice needs a soul to possess to exist.
Exactly.
Without the soul, creepy voice is no more.
Exactly.
Is no more.
So what they do is they decide that all the unicorns bind their powers together.
And they give them the Care Bear stare.
Care Bear stare up until Star-Lord gets really mad and smacks it in the face and wakes it back up.
Yeah.
It's actually a really common trope.
It is a common trope. I wouldn't say that the Avengers was the first one to do that.
Not even, no.
But it's definitely like, so they're winning. And the creepy voice is like, no, I'm going.
And then somebody, in this case Henry, decides,
it's like,
no,
wait,
you can't kill her.
You're going to kill her. And like Scold's like, she's already dead.
And she's like,
stop, stop. She's already dead.
But you realize it's also one of those moments where you're like, no, she could still be saved. No, she's actually dead. She actually is dead.
Yeah, her soul is literally being held back from crossing over.
Yeah.
This is a prison. This is a prison.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, so Henry tackles Scold, who has fused his magical powers with the other unicorns on site, which is also like the first time I remember some of those characters being described as unicorn ponies, because it had never really come up. Maybe I'm sure one of them it was mentioned somewhere, but it just didn't really come up. Anyways, so the unicorn ponies, all their magics flow from their horns and combine together into one. And so when she tackles Scold, it exhausts all of them because they've been pouring all their magical energy. I thought it was interesting, though, that he said that other unicorn ponies can fuse their magics together by clearing their mind.
Yeah. And
he can absorb their magical energy. And I haven't come across this in any of the stories yet. Is this something that comes from the book? Not the book, the show?
I don't remember it from the show. I don't actually remember any combined magics.
But see, that's the thing. You're a bad brony. There's a lot of seasons that you haven't watched.
And there's a lot of seasons I've watched, and there's a lot of bad seasons that I haven't watched. Sorry.
Harsh.
But okay,
you are we've said it before. You're like a brony hipster. It's like you liked it when it was.
Let me make this small clip. Okay, you go into YouTube and you look up this thing where Rainbow Dash says to Starlight Glimmer, where Starlight Glimmer is like, "Who are the Wonderbolts?" And Rainbow Dash does this over the top cartoonish. You don't know who the Wonderbolts are. They're the greatest things ever, and just like absolutely flips her shit. In the very first episode of the show, Twilight Sparkle asks, "Who are the Wonderbolts?" And she just laughs. She's like, "Oh, come on. You're so out of it. You must have lived under a rock. The Wonderbolts are just the greatest guys ever." It's like, what happened to that character? The character who was cool, the character who was kind of smooth. No, what we get is screechy, harpy annoyance.
What you're saying is because they fucked with your favorite character, you don't like the show anymore.
No, I'm just saying that's the staple of quality that you should come to expect from the show, is that this degradation of the characters being more as set pieces than they are characters. Moving on.
I don't know what to go from there. So anyway, so the magics fall apart, and then this bitch, the creepy voice is all like, "Hey, you guys, I'm gonna kill all of you because I'm tired of playing around."
Yeah,
and that's basically what she starts to do. And she sicks. Oh no, the sidekick.
Yeah,
sidekick character on Henry.
Sidekick.
Yeah,
it's just sidekick.
Yeah, and the sidekick tackles Henry, and Henry has enough innate predator awareness to roll so that it doesn't just break her spine and rip her wings off.
Yep.
But they fall off a cliff.
Yep.
And all that we hear from then on is that creepy voice says, "She's destroyed my minion." So we know whatever happened on the cliff killed sidekick. But we'll come back to that later.
They seem to be rather impervious to bullets, but not impervious to concussive blasts.
Right.
That seems to be the case.
And so we do understand more. So these creatures are regular ghouls.
Yeah.
They are not Canterlot ghouls, and that is what distinguishes.
Yeah. Mimezinga said that in the last one. That's one of the reasons.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was just going to say it just seemed clarified in this because there's no pink cloud that comes out when they die.
Mm-hmm.
But anyways, so they're just normal ghouls. They're very powerful ghouls,
terrifying.
But they're normal ghouls. Anyways, and then just a bloodbath opens up. Gauss goes down pretty quick.
Mm-hmm.
He sends a missile to blow up Creepy Voice, and she basically sends it right back.
Yeah.
Creepy Voice sprouts these, demonic, blue glowing
membranous wings.
and flies up into the air and even has a shield. So the same shields that we see the alicorns have, she has a shield that basically nothing can get through. Scold doesn't try to confront her. She confronts Scold because she knows that Scold is in charge. And as he stands before her, she literally puts a heart-stopping spell on him.
Yeah, just crushes his heart.
Yeah. Which I thought meant he was dead. But then he shows up again at the end.
Well, just because somebody puts you into cardiac arrest doesn't kill you. If somebody puts you into cardiac arrest and there's no help, you're going to die.
Right. But it's not like the heart was turned to mush. Yeah. Just stop the heart. Which I feel like we saw in Fallout Equestria.
We did. The alicorns learned a heart-stopping spell.
Yeah.
Because it's difficult.
That's right, because little Pip was like feeling
her
heart being held.
Yeah. The thing with telepaths and telepathy in the My Little Pony universe, and really telepathy in most things, is that you have to have line of sight for the telepathy to work.
Right.
And the reason that you can't just reach into somebody's chest and stop their heart is because you don't know what it looks like, and so you can't picture it in your mind.
Right. Unless
you become an expert in anatomy or you study enough to understand it.
Right. So anyways, there's a lot of collateral damage. Mr. White, his nephew, Sagebrush, is set in a sniping position with a bunch of other reinforcements.
Yep.
Sagebrush gets taken out. Mr. White survives. Liquid gold.
Molten gold.
Molten gold, thank you. Why did I say liquid gold? Anyways, molten gold gets impaled. But he's a ghoul, so he just needs a little radiation. And Lonesome Pony gets thrown against a tree, and his spine is like snarled up in a way. Yeah, it breaks his spine.
Yeah.
So they're all losing, and this is bad. Henry comes to on the beach below the cliff, looking out over Emerald Shores, and she realizes that she landed on Sidekick, and that broke the fall. Now she was damaged, but she could still move and fly. And just to make sure, she puts a few in Sidekick's head, just to make, never too sure with zombies, basically. And she is visited by a pink glowing vision, a ball of sorts that speaks to her. And we begin to understand it that this again is Pinkie Pie.
Yep.
It's Pinkie Pie communicating with her, and essentially tells her that you need to use the Rock of Destiny to fulfill Puppy Smile's destiny. And so she uses the Rock of Destiny and breaks open a box that she finds on the shore there.
It's an ammo container, if I'm not mistaken. It was left for Puppy.
And it was Rainy Days. I should say Puppy Smiles days, but yes, Rainy Days left this box here for Puppy to find eventually. And it's full of pictures and memories and a note basically saying, Mommy and Daddy are waiting for you.
Yeah.
We're waiting for you. And I have to be very careful about talking about this chapter.
He's going to cry. He's literally on the verge.
I fucking bawled for like the last 15 minutes of reading, and I'm no joke. It was ugly crying. It was
He's actually tearing up right now. I'm not joking.
It just hurts, man. And to think of a child in limbo for 200 years.
Well, yeah, but I mean, at the same time, she was not cognizant.
Well, and I know theoretically in the afterlife, time doesn't matter, but we need to move on. We'll come back to that. But anyway, so here's these memories. And Henry realizes that she's been selfish. She's trying to keep Puppy around for her because she doesn't want to be alone. She and Puppy have become bonded. And she realized that she needed Puppy more than Puppy needs her. And so she goes to confront Creepy Voice. Oh, we totally skipped something. They changed the voice because the group implied that Creepy Voice was like Nightmare Moon. Yeah. And Creepy Voice says, no, she was much greater and much more powerful and stronger than I. Much more ancient and stronger than I. But I too will have that power, know. So it's that same nebulous, like you said, evil energy that just all it wants to do is control and destroy. And it even gives them terms. It offers all of them there to become her, her
thralls.
To go out and,
because part of it is she's still going to harvest their souls.
Right.
But they'll be,
And she said, I will rebuild this great land, and it will be lush and growing, and I will give you great prosperity. But I demand sacrifice, one foal from each territory every month.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, what are you going to do with them? And it's like, no matter, you don't need to know what I'm going to do with them.
Yeah.
But it's
you know exactly what you can do with them.
Consume their souls.
Yes.
But anyways, so
consuming their foals to consume their souls.
That's right. So I think I've covered that up. But they called her another name, like Nightmare something.
Yeah.
Nightmare voice.
No, it was actually Henry. Henry said, "You are not even Nightmare Moon, so you're Nightmare Noob."
That's right. Yeah, Nightmare Noob.
Nightmare Noob.
And it's so funny to see all of them as they're dying, and in these moments, they're kind of quoting Puppy Smiles.
Mm-hmm.
They're taking on her affectation because she has made all of their lives better.
Yeah.
She has helped their communities somehow. And for all of them, they have seen the hope of old Equestria.
Yeah. The peace that once was.
Right. And they all say that, they dream of a day when we can have foals like her again, but not from the past, but from today. I believe it's Scold who says that. Anyways, so I'm trying to think of other important people who die. I think that covers it.
Mm-hmm.
Eventually, what's her face, who was with Gauss, the other paladin. I'm blanking on her. She doesn't die in this battle, but she dies in a successive battle, and is actually buried alongside Gauss.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember. I do remember Trigger Happy. She actually saying, "No, it's not supposed to be this way. I want children."
Right, and Trigger Happy doesn't die.
Yeah,
Trigger Happy and
Jam Gun.
And Jam Gun. That's right. They both survive. But anyway, so Henry confronts Creepy Voice and says, "Puppy, you don't belong here. You are dead. DEAD, dead." And she says, your mom is over the horizon. You need to go to your mom over the horizon.
Yeah.
She's waiting for you. She and your father are waiting for you.
Just over the horizon.
You have to go.
It was what was written on this kind of epitaph.
Yeah.
On the back of a picture, if I'm not mistaken, that was in the box.
On the horizon.
Yeah. So what it does is it kind of sends a signal to Puppy's unconscious where she's currently
she's in this like fugue state. She's in this, it's a purgatory of sorts because it is neither bad, but nor is it good. It's a sunny day under a tree by a pond or by the shore. Mm-hmm. It's just some body of water. But as she hears the voice of Henry, and it pops up as a goldfish in the water speaking to her.
Yep.
And it's like, goldfish can't talk. What are you doing?
Henry, you're not a goldfish.
You're not a
You're
goldfish.
A turkey.
And as the goldfish is trying to communicate to her, the water is freezing. So this is obviously Creepy Voice trying to push out whatever's there. But at the same time, Creepy Voice is like, you can't get to her, and attacks Henry. Mm-hmm. Originally by throwing like a big chunk of road at her, which she avoids. But then she... how does she actually crushes her? Yeah, she just grabs her and starts crushing her. And Henry goes limp. But it's enough for Puppy to realize, to snap out of it. And we are greeted in her purgatory state by the Grim Reaper.
A very bureaucratic...
Yeah, well, and what's so funny is that you hear him mumbling to himself, like, I've been sitting here for 200 years. It's never going to work. This is never going to happen. And then Puppy's like, oh, what are you doing here?
He's like, you can see me? Tell me this isn't
a prank. This isn't a prank. I swear to God, I'm going to leave if it's a prank. Because here he's like, I know time is a constant and it doesn't matter to me because I'm separated from it. But still, 200 years is 200 years. Okay, I've been here waiting for a long time.
Yeah.
And she's like, oh, will you take me to Mama? And he's like, you still don't get it?
Fine. Okay, here. And he hands her a silver ticket.
Yeah.
Exclaiming that silver tickets are special because it means you get the fast track.
Right.
You get to go ahead. There's some process to this whole thing, and you bypass
Again,
it.
like you said, a bureaucrat.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he's skeletal. So the way he's described reminds me of Luna's guards.
Yeah.
That's kind of what came to mind. He's a skeletal pony. They didn't say that he had bat-like wings, but, he was cloaked. And Puppy Smiles is like, I get to see Mama. Yay. And she gives him a big hug. And, he's like, oh, okay. I also thought it was funny that he says, some call me this, but my friends call me Mort.
Yeah. Marty. Well, I
Yeah.
wonder what his mother calls him.
Yeah. But anyways,
Why do you never call? You never call your mother. Ma, there's no concept of time here. It doesn't matter when I call you, but you never call.
Look at you. You need to eat something. You're thin as a rail. You're wasting
I'm
away.
made of bones,
I was
Ma.
gonna say, you're skin and bones. Ma, I'm just bones. I love that in our world, the Grim Reaper's mama is a nice Jewish girl.
Somehow we've blended Italian, we've blended Italian and Jewish, like New York Italian and New York Jewish.
I mean, it's all the same.
Oh yeah.
There's no such thing as Jews. It's just Italians that don't believe in Jesus, Chris. That's just all it is. Yeah, that's what it is. If you're Italian and you don't want to be a Christian, you're a Jew. That's how it works.
I feel like somehow this is going to be horribly misconstrued.
Look at this guy. That's clear. This guy missed the meetings, huh?
Okay. Okay, moving towards the end of the chapter, we kind of see that Creepy Voice has separated out from Puppy because she starts dissolving.
And Puppy's gone. She starts deflating, like literally, like the suit, like.
Yeah.
She becomes like a wacky waving inflatable airplane tube man, just like.
I was actually thinking more of
Who Framed Roger Rabbit?
Yeah, the judge when he falls into the dip. Talk about the most.
I'm so glad that you and I. I'm so
awful.
glad that you and I went to the exact same nightmare from our childhood. By the way, he scared the shit out of me when I was a little kid.
He still kind of scares people, and he still scared me a little bit. What when he dips the shoe?
Oh yeah,
that's just fucking horrifying.
Rough stuff. Yeah, he was a cartoon Hitler, is what he was.
Yeah.
# cartoon Hitler. Fully man. 2K19.
Okay, so. But I do want to end this first part of the chapter, or the first of the two chapters, with what Henry does. Because that's when you texted me saying you were crying. When she finds Silky Tail, which is the doll that Puppy Smiles left Henry and told her to take care of her. And Henry says...
Yeah. So after all this is done, after Puppy Smiles is gone, after she's gone to the great beyond, after... Creepy Voice, Nightmare Noob is gone after they have collected together everyone there. In fact, when Creepy Voice goes, she goes in like an explosion of pink cloud that they describe as anyone who is capable of running away moves. They know what happens. But they even say that the tree there on the hillside is blasted pink from the explosion, that it's just dyed pink permanently. But yes, Henry stands on the cliffside and pulls out her doll,
Silky Tail.
Yeah, Silky Tail, and looks out over the seaside.
Says it's okay. We'll have better tomorrow.
Yep.
But it doesn't end there.
No, it doesn't.
We have
in fact she's visited by Puppy Smiles right at the very end. Her last ethereal effort is to talk to Henry and basically tell her, like, you have to go on. You have to live on.
Turn around. Bright eyes.
Yeah, right. But she also says, they're talking about how, we're more than friends. And Puppy Smiles like, ooh, like sisters.
And she's like, yeah.
You can be Henry Days.
So
she gets adopted by Puppy Smiles.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the reason that Henry
she even says that she changes her name to Henrietta Days.
Yep. But
yes, the epilogue.
The epilogue is mostly just a follow-up of events.
Right. It's recapped, and in fact, it's being recapped by Watcher,
who even admits to himself being called Questioner because
the Questioner. Yeah, right. And he talks about, we get snippets and flashes of some of the other things that are going on in Fallout Equestria. Yeah, little bits and pieces. But we also find out that because of the actions of the Big 52 radio station, they were able to get reinforcements where they needed to, that the herd was completely wiped out, or at least any remnants are scattered.
Most of their leading members were completely eviscerated.
The Ironworks lost most of their adults. And the Applejack's Rangers are able to move in and help them rebuild, but also kind of make it their new permanent base. Which at first they're resistant to, but then they realize how beneficial.
And there's no other option. I mean,
Emerald Shores is renamed Nightmare's Fall.
I think so, yeah.
Nightmare's Fall, I believe, something like that. And of course, the residents there don't know why. But as that community grows, and broccoli grows. The community of broccoli now doesn't just grow broccoli, because not everybody likes broccoli. They now grow cabbage as well.
Yes.
Another brassica family member, was still bitter, sulfurous.
You know, a puppy would love sauerkraut.
Yeah, exactly. By the way, welcome. Thanks for being here. Why did 666 and last place? We are at the Skinny Rinktum here. And I'm trying to think of some other major wrap-ups. Scold survives, and he even says, for all that Puppy Smiles did for us, the loss of only 4 of Applejack's Rangers is not enough.
Yeah.
He said, I'm going to have to tell these.
I'm just going to have to go around and start murdering people.
No. and hey, Moonblaze. But what he said is that for all that she did for us, we owed her more than that.
Yeah.
Even these 4 lives, we owed her more than that.
Yep.
And speaking of the hope, and that's kind of what I said earlier about this is when he gives the line about how I want for there to be foals of this time period who have the same hope and innocence that she does, because this world currently does not have that.
No.
Unless they're locked in a stable.
The perfect example of that. Well, even then, I mean, you're in a stable. You're not. Little Pip describes it as kind of a dreary and depressing atmosphere. It's not the hopeful, bright, pretty ponies that she talked about.
Right.
The thing that first comes to mind is the burlesque house. Where they're like, get these statues out of here. We're not animals. And it's like, is the first time anyone has ever mentioned that since you guys first started.
Right. And it kind of reminds them of morality.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
She is the order in Sea of Chaos.
So basically we kind of get a recap of everything that goes on. We find out that is it Cold Shower who was with Gauss? Is that who it was?
I think so.
It doesn't matter. So they both, she dies as well, and her grave is next to his. They make a grave for Puppy Smiles next to her mother's, and they just write Puppy Smiles Days on it. And there's even a moment where they're like, she did so much. Shouldn't we put something else on there to say what she did for Equestria? And Scold says, no, this is our custom, and everyone else here gave their lives, and their markers only have their names as well. It is the custom.
I mean, I hate to say she wouldn't have it any other way. She wouldn't even know what it is.
No. Yeah, it has no concept of it.
Yeah. It's an interesting concept, and we're going to follow up on this later, but there is something else that happens, and we get a small cut to a separate happenings.
Right. So we see the last seconds of the airship that was leaving with the irradiated salt cube, leaving Salt Lake City, sorry. And we see the last moments as the engines are failing and the blimp is it is a dirigible, as it is being blown back towards the city. They decide to basically crash it, but it blows up.
Yep.
And in the blinding light, suddenly, I can't remember his name, but the ghoul leader there.
I can't remember.
That was piloting the ship. I know. But anyways, he goes from standing there in a ship that was falling apart and exploded to now he's on a perfect airship in perfect condition. And he's back in officers' uniforms. Yeah. He's an engineer.
Think of the ending of Titanic.
Right. And he stands there and realizes that the wheel that he was holding is no longer decrepit and decayed. It is brand new and polished. And in bounces a very energetic
captain on deck,
Captain Pinkie Pie. And but he says he addresses her as Miss, Ministry Mayor Pie, and she says, "Oh, I hate that whole ministry thing. It was so silly, anyways. Captain Pinkie Pie's fine.
Yeah,
still likes the title of captain, but not ministry mayor. It's so silly." And she's literally bouncing around the room at a rate faster than he thought a pony could even go. Yep. And he doesn't understand what's happened, but he realizes that he himself is not a ghoul.
No.
And he's like, I'm dead. Okay. All right. I'm dead. That's what's happening here.
Well, this is different.
Well, and he's taken to a center room where they're waiting for Captain Pinkie Pie to come join him. And in that space is everyone who's passed away.
Yeah.
Everyone who I guess gets a silver ticket.
Yeah.
So we see Henry's father
Mm-hmm.
standing there. We see Gauss and Cold Shower standing there. We see the seer there, Long Ears. And we also see, I know I'm forgetting somebody.
Puppy?
Right. Well, and then of course at the end, Puppy Smiles
Mm-hmm.
comes in, and she literally goes from the conversation that she had left off with the Grim Reaper,
Mm-hmm.
and now she's like, and I have this ticket, and I'm here, and I'm going to go see Mommy, and I'm all this great thing, and Captain Pinkie Pie comes in, and I think Puppy is talking about wanting to play games, wanting to play all these games, and Pinkie Pie says, well, unfortunately, there's no time for that because we have arrived.
Yeah.
And in fact, they're sailing through the stars.
Yep.
I forgot to mention that when they were on the deck. And when they arrive, they are greeted by the greenest green, the lushest lush, the greatest visual scene landscape you could ever imagine.
And it's like this field.
It's pristine, endless.
And on it are a whole bunch of pretty ponies playing. And we are left off with Puppy looking out and seeing one in particular.
Yeah. And running out and with tears in her eyes saying, Mom. God damn it. Fuck. Son of a bitch. Ah!
I know I could do it.
It's a fucking book about fucking goddamn ponies. Shit. I'm not going to ugly cry on the podcast. I already did that this afternoon. It was bad. It was like, when you've like cried so much and it feels like you got onions in your eyes because you're running out of all the other good stuff in your tears. Just getting all the toxins.
Yeah.
Last place we mentioned, the Father Griffin.
Yep.
Henry's dad, which they don't say specifically as Henry's dad, but it is a male griffin in mercenary gear. It's Henry's dad.
Yeah. Everyone who was touched by Puppy, who obviously wasn't evil.
Wait a minute. Moonblaze says, it's okay. Let your feelings out. Let your feelings flow.
The spice must flow.
No, I was thinking more like Emperor Palpatine.
Oh, yes.
Great. Yeah, they should really do a Nike campaign with him.
Yeah.
Just do it. So yeah, I mean, it's how the story always had to end.
Yeah, but it's the best way it could have ended.
Well, the best way is that they would have, released her soul, and all those other people didn't have to die. That would be the best way.
No, because you must have sacrifice. It's not Foally Equestria if there's no sacrifice.
There are a lot of fucking dead ponies up to this point, Chris. I'd consider that
and
a sacrifice.
And guess what? We saw all of them being taken to their final resting place.
That's true. That's true.
Mm-hmm.
When in fact, that vision was just the fever dream of a 200-year-old foal dying.
Yeah. I guess.
Thanks, Winnie the Pooh.
Yeah.
That whole story is way different when you look at it from that perspective.
Mm-hmm.
It's awful.
Yeah.
It ruins it.
It's nightmare.
I see. Christopher Robin is like dying of scarlet fever or some shit.
Yeah.
So, oh man, I hate losing stuff. I knew I needed to write it down.
Yeah, but it's fine. So, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls,
that was Pinkie Pie
and fillies.
That was Pink Eyes.
Yep, that was Pink Eyes.
Pink Eyes is done.
It is finished.
It's over.
Wow.
Yep, moving on.
Irreverent as fuck. So, just to say, it appears as though we're going to have a little bit of switch of schedule of our scheduling. We were going to do Guys of Chaos. We will eventually, for the love of God, one day. Robert has taken it upon himself to brave through Project Horizons. We may have to figure out some kind of scheduling thing because there's a whole bunch of people who wanted to get in on that action. For instance, Yoska, he wants to get on it, but it was like, we don't know how that's
Thanks for calling into the Foally of Man, Yoska. Thanks for joining us. What's your question?
Yeah, we may have to do some kind of like round table with the little mechanized voice over here or something. I don't know.
We'll figure it out.
We'll figure it
I'm
out.
glad we're suddenly hashing this out live on the air. That's cool.
Well, we didn't really know it was going to happen. Guest stops?
What's that?
Why did 666 has guest stops?
I don't know. So we have reached the time in the show where, as we kind of wrap up, we should say kind of our final thoughts on the book.
Yep. Now, let me start with this because it's kind of been the shtick from the entire thing. Do you think you could understand the story without having? Do you think you understood everything about the story without having seen the show?
Because this is a fan fiction of a fan fiction.
Not without the first book, just without the show. That's the first one. Can you understand it without the show?
There's really only mention of like one or two of the characters from the show.
That's what I was thinking, is that this is actually more isolated than...
But there is some... It's pretty esoteric, especially considering it's described from the perspective of a child.
Yeah.
That's rough.
Yep.
Like, the things she's referencing, you kind of have to have that mantic knowledge to carry it on. I don't think that's to its detriment. But does it stand on its own hooves without the show? I think it'd be difficult. But I also don't think it would be that hard to catch someone up.
Yeah.
You could give somebody 5 minutes of synopsis of the show and they'd be golden.
Now, the harder question. Could you do it without reading the original book?
I would say no.
Yeah, I would too.
and again, that is not to the detriment of the book.
No.
It wasn't designed for people that didn't know the fandom.
Yeah.
And let's face it, there's plenty of books that's how it is. I challenge you to go pick up any comic book on the shelves today and just open it.
Oh yeah, mid-roll episode, mid-roll. What are they called?
You're talking about like
mid-roll entry or whatever.
Yeah. But mid of a series.
Yeah,
you know?
mid of an arc. You take a mid-arc.
Book 7 of a 10-book series.
Yeah,
Good luck.
You won't know what the fuck's going on because they're going to be referencing things from the other stories.
Comics used to be very episodic, but they certainly are not now. And so I think that's fair. It'd be like if you picked up the 4th Harry Potter book.
Oh God, don't start with the 4th.
No, but that's what I mean. Like imagine picking up something in the middle of a series. Mm-hmm. You know, not every series is designed to do that, to stand on its own 4 hooves.
Yep.
As it were.
So yeah, I think that's just gonna be a big takeaway.
It finally came back to me.
What?
Well,
say it.
Well,
do it now.
You know, it's that time. It's that time. Favorite time of the week?
It's your favorite time of the month.
The Pony Pun of the Week.
That's very loud, and there's very little insulation in this house.
You'd be surprised. I've listened to the episodes, and I've sounded kind of quiet because this is a sexy mic. You got to get right up on it. You got to make out with the mic. You got to unpin its.
I just meant I don't want to have to explain to the neighbors what the screaming is.
Do you want to know what the Pony Pun of the Week is, Chris?
I would love.
Because we have come to the end of this story, and because Puppy Smiles completed her task, the Pony Pun of the Week is fulfilled. Fulfilled.
So the entire arc has been fulfilled.
Yeah. Fulfilled! Woo!
It's like a straight shot of Diet Coke with tonic.
Ooh, bitter.
Yeah. Slightly acrid.
Man, Moonblaze. All right, so Moonblaze says Pony Pun of the Month sounds more accurate at this point. You know what? Lick me. You can salt lick me.
Tom.
You know what? I'm not even a mother flipping brony, and I've gotten through 2 of these books. One of them was hella big. This one was great. I honestly, I really enjoyed this.
Yeah.
Especially near the last 6 or 7 chapters. I was like, all right, well, let's fucking record another episode because I really am into this.
Yeah.
Like this afternoon, I put Atticus down for a nap, put the wifey down for a nap. I made a cup of tea, snuggled up on the sofa with my dog, read this book, put on some good music in the background, and just had a good cry. You know, those days where you come home, light a candle, have a glass of wine, and put on the Nora Jones and just slit your wrists and let it all go away.
Nothing quite like putting on some Nora Jones and reading some Nora Roberts. Am I right?
Yeah, hell yeah. Yeah, I got to flick that bean there.
Yes, kids. That's the joke. If you don't know who Nora Roberts is, she makes smut for women.
Yeah, well, she's the books that had Fabio on the front.
Fabio.
Oh, Fabio.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, I am a New England plumber with a very thick German accent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There were bear there and cougar.
Moonblaze also called me a filthy casual for only having read 2 of these.
We're working on it. Oh, hi, Mimezinga.
Oh, hi, Mimezinga.
Oh, are you serious? We didn't actually know as much. So, also, I knew you were usually going to be asleep, so I wasn't going to bug you.
Yeah, actually, like, because we know where you are, I don't want you to be up this late because that's freaking ridiculous.
Yeah. So, thank you.
Well, now that you're here, Mimezinga, do we want to share the pony pun of the week again for Mimezinga now that Mimezinga's here?
No,
you don't want
to?
Enough. But it's so important. It's fulfilled.
Are you saying it's a very fulfilling?
It is a very fulfilling story because this foal fulfilled her destiny.
Fulfilling.
Don't think about fulfilling. No. That's a creamy nougat fulfilling.
No.
Wouldn't it be weird if like ponies made candies that looked like ponies?
Like Sour Patch Kids?
Yeah. And it's like, oh, I'm just eating some carrot flavored ponies. You monster.
Suddenly Carrot Top's boyfriend pops his head out from behind the counter. Me too.
Gross. No, he's definitely into women, and he's only interested in them if he's having them 2 at a time.
No.
That just sounds like a lot of activity. I know.
Carrot Top is one of the ponies.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Oh, really? I was thinking about the comedian.
Yeah, you are. I've always thought
because I'm just a filthy casual. You know what, Moonblaze? You're dead to me. Never going to say that's not true. Nobody's dead to me. I love all of you. This book brings out the worst in me.
Sensually.
Or the Wait, you're dead to me sensually? What the hell does that mean?
It means necrophilia. Okay. We already did cupcakes. For those that actually forgot, the Halloween episode.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, we're gonna have another Halloween episode.
Yeah, I guess we will.
Yeah.
Can't believe we've still been doing this shit 2 years on.
Mm-hmm.
Think about how many books we'd be through if we actually did an episode or 2 a week, every week, no matter what.
Yeah.
Because we've done, 60-something episodes now?
Yeah.
All total?
I think it's actually...
There was 21 in this season. There was 45 or 46 in the last season. So, yeah, it's like 66, 67. Something like that, something like that.
Anyway, yeah.
Yeah. Anybody have any questions? I mean, like, we're done. And Pink Eyes was great.
Yeah.
I mean, really. Like, after the first chapter, I was like, I don't know about, like...
The writing, this is something that I said early on, is Mimezinga starts out kind of not knowing... I think it's just not knowing where he wants to take the story. And then as time progresses and he starts understanding what he wants out of the characters and what the characters should be and the different perspectives, there's a little bit of breaking of that when it comes to Puppy being more lucid in the later portions, but that's simply because she's the narration.
I will say, like, I can watch Old Yeller and I don't ugly cry at that. I don't cry at all. But like, it just something about
Land Before Time,
having a child just
that's what we're gonna have to watch. We're gonna have to watch Land Before Time and have you see the mother die.
Nah, I don't want to watch any more Don Bluth cartoons. I'm done with them.
Poor Don Bluth.
Yeah, I'm just done with them. Like, there's no reason to.
No.
Anastasia is a garbage movie.
I don't remember much about
it. It's a garbage movie for garbage people.
I'm sorry, what was that about? God, any of his later ones? Troll in Central Park?
Oh, God. Yeah.
Which is just Dom DeLuise and Don Bluth just pretty much making the most childish movie of all time.
Yeah.
Poor Dom DeLuise. He's such an adorable man.
There were just movies that you like had to watch as a kid because it was all that was on. Or you're like, oh, it's an animated movie. I should love this, right? Because as a kid, you don't have taste. Kids are just like, hey, man, it's cartoons. I love cartoons.
It's an information stream. Yeah. As a child, you will uptake the information stream. That's how it works.
Yeah.
You plug into the Matrix, man.
Yeah. Another Christopher Lloyd vehicle as Rasputin. Playing another villain, which I don't get. He seems like he has a very likable personality.
He does. He just likes playing those roles. And I think it's because of his taller and more skeletal features.
Yeah. There are some, he is kind of bizarre looking, but there are some actors who can pull off being the hero, the likable hero, and the villain. One that comes to mind is Ian McShane, who I love. He plays a villain and a good guy, both really well. Mm-hmm. I just like listening to him talk.
Christy makes you wonder.
Never sneak up on a man who's been in a chemical fire.
Yeah. Well, another one actually is you realize that speaking of actors that are actually kind of diverse in their roles and do a lot of things and back and forth on that spectrum.
Hashtag diversity in My Little Pony.
Have you ever thought that about how Mr. Krabs killed Sean Connery?
Are you talking about the voice actor who plays Mr. Krabs? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. All right. Yeah. No, I haven't thought about that, Chris. Is that what keeps you up at night?
No.
Okay.
But we were talking about that, about the actors and the diverse roles. I can't remember the actor's name completely, but he has such a great voice. Mm-hmm. He really does. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Good classical smoker's voice.
Somebody mentioned down there about Hades from Hercules.
Oh.
Which actually I would say is James Woods. And James Woods always plays a villain.
Yeah.
He did a show for a while where he played a good guy. But generally speaking, him and Sean Bean, they always play a villain.
Yeah.
They're just always going to play a bad guy.
Yep.
So, yeah. Honestly, that's why I think Timothy Dalton was a bad James Bond.
Yeah.
Because he looks like the villain. Those piercing blue eyes and the angular face.
And that weird smirky smile.
Right. Like he knows something that you don't know and you're like, oh, great. What are you doing there, Timmy? That being said, I should clarify. I love Timothy Dalton. I think he's a fantastic actor, but he's a much better villain than he is a hero. Just like Superman.
And let it be known.
Drop.
Okay. Probably
don't believe me. Watch The Boys on Amazon.
Okay, so probably one of those esoteric things, but I am saddened by the fact that this will never happen in our reality. We will never see Timothy Dalton and Tim Curry be Mr. Wint and Mr. Kidd from James Bond.
Both? Plays both of them?
No, it's like one each.
Yeah.
So Timothy Dalton is one and Tim Curry is the other. And it's just this, why wasn't man meant to fly, Mr. Wint? Because he'd be made with wings, Mr. Kidd. It's just like they're...
the failures of capitalism.
In space.
Doing anything with Tim Curry now, though, is just sad because of the stroke.
Yeah.
I'd say rip in peace, but he's not dead.
No.
He's hanging on. God bless him. We lost a legend there.
Yeah.
But he's still with us.
Yeah.
But he's not dead. But he's not acting.
But he could kind of die. Depending on the severity of the stroke.
Well, like Moonblaze, he's dead to me. Sensually.
That makes less and less sense as you use it more and more widely.
Well, it's why I use the term a Yas queen, because I'm trying to kill it because I hate it so much. Like when people unironically say Yas, I'm like, oh my God, I just want to strangle you until everything stops, until the light dims in your eyes, and that's so murderous. That's so awful. Wow. So, man, we survived.
Yep.
And I'm still not a brony.
Nope.
I don't think crying at a book makes you a brony.
No.
Maybe that's a different definition.
No.
I'm sure somebody's going to make the argument, but I am just a filthy casual.
Yes.
So like if my tier is like not brony, the next tier is filthy casual.
Yeah. You have to be under filthy casual.
Level up. Perk. Filthy casual. You sort of know some things about something.
Yeah.
But you didn't do it before it was cool. You know what's great about this? It's never been cool and it never will be.
Thank God.
That's our life on the perimeter. So
it means it'll never be shoved down my throat.
But yeah, I don't think there's going to be any delay. I mean, I think as far as we plan, as soon as we have the time and can read the first chapter of Project Horizons, we'll jump right into it. Foally of Man, Season 3. Finger guns. Yeah.
Yep. And we should have a few other things coming to you as well. I hope if you do enjoy our work, make sure to check out the Red Eye Airwaves coverage of Murky number 7.
Sure.
Because we're not going to read it because I have partially and Fuzzy, you are a fantastic author. I can't take it, and you'll just be there. You'll literally stop halfway through the first chapter and be like, "Do I just need to cut my wrists now?"
You do realize that one of my favorite authors is John Steinbeck, though. So like,
yeah, but this is like It's just
Just
like
bad stuff happens like just constantly. No
it's
reason.
like if Mice and Men and Flowers for Algernon were combined in such a way to where Lenny was the mouse Algernon. Somehow it being that tragic. It's just like, why? Why are you forcing me to take this?
Yeah. Good books though. Well written.
Yeah. It is one of my favorite lines in all of the book series, which is not safe, is gone.
Mimezinga says, "Thank you for taking Puppy home."
Yep.
Yeah, man. Hits you like a freaking sack of bricks.
Yeah. Right up the head.
It's heavy. It's heavy. But the wasteland is better because of Puppy Smiles.
Yeah. And it does kind of show the necessary sacrifice. This was a comment I made to somebody who was asking why the original story is so bittersweet. Why does the ending not feel good? It's a good ending. Why doesn't it feel good? And it really boils down to the fact that you as the viewer, as the watcher, as the reader, you want the world for Little Pip. You want her to have that little house with a little garden and, the girl she was chasing after, and you wanted her to have that nice, pretty, happy future. And she didn't take it. She couldn't.
Yeah.
What she had to do, what the wasteland demanded of her, was eternal servitude.
Mm-hmm.
Something which I explained, she would have to stay up there because she's functionally immortal and she's in a stasis chamber.
You know what she is? She's Gordon Freeman.
Gordon Freeman.
Time. Is it really that time again, Mr. Freeman?
But by the time that she gets out...
The right man at the right... The right mayor at the right time can make all the difference
in the
so
world.
Weird. His pronunciation, it's supposed to be alien.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like the inflection is like, oh, that's weird. It's like saying leggings instead of legends.
League of Leggings.
Ooh, leg ins. Ew. Good old stumps just flopping around.
Yep.
Well, folks, it's that time again.
It's that time. Not the time for the pony pun. We already did that.
It's time to turn out the lights, close up the shop, put out the candles, and call it a day.
Mm-hmm.
For Chris, I'm Robert. This is The Foally of Man, Season 2, Pink Eyes. And we will see you next time, Season 3, Project Horizons. Love y'all. See you soon.